At his sentencing in 2009, one investor said of Madoff, he stole from the poor, he stole from the rich, he stole from the in-between so that he and his wife could live a life of luxury. In the end, the man behind the largest Ponzi scheme in U.S. history ended his story in a federal prison hospital. His financial fraud destroyed thousands of lives, including those of his wife and sons. And on Wednesday morning, 12 years into a 150-year prison sentence, Bernie Madoff died at the Federal Medical Center in Butner, North Carolina, according to a Bureau of Prison spokesperson. Attorney Helen Davis Chapman represented thousands of Madoff victims who lost money in a fraud that existed for more than 4 decades. She's also author of the book J.P. Madoff, The Unholy Alliance Between America's Biggest Bank and America's Biggest Crook.
The number of people who were impacted by the fraud was over 60,000 because a lot of the accounts were funds which could have had 2,000 customers in them. So he had a massive, massive impact.
Madoff pleaded guilty in 2009 to securities fraud and other charges, saying he was deeply sorry and ashamed. To add insult to financial injury, his largest clients, among more than 5,200 accounts, were banks and asset management firms, meaning there were likely thousands of people who didn't know their assets were involved with Madoff until they were broke. The on-paper losses, nearly $65 billion.
They ranged from Goldman Sachs partners at the most sophisticated level to upstate New York plumbers who invested through the Union Pension Fund.
The scandal destroyed his family. One of his sons, Mark, killed himself on the 2nd anniversary of his father's arrest. His other son, Andrew, died of cancer at the age of 48. And Madoff's own brother, Peter, was sentenced to prison in 2012, despite claims of being in the dark about his brother's ill doings. Davis Chapman says the fact that more financial execs and big banks didn't face prosecution is a Madoff legacy and tragedy on which both sides of the political aisle are complicit.
You know, the Wall Street lobbyists have just taken over Washington, and the victims are people like you and me.
Well, in February 2020, Madoff's lawyer sought a compassionate release from prison, saying the 81-year-old was dying of kidney disease. That request was denied. In its decision, the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York cited his crimes as unprecedented in scope and magnitude. The Madoffs were also hit with a $171 billion forfeiture order, stripping Madoff of all personal property, real estate, and investments, including $80 million in assets his wife claimed were hers.